Hello there, everyone.
That's how we're starting it? Jesus Christ.
My name is Adam Rawlings.
My name is not. That wasn't funny. You don't get to laugh at. I don't get the privilege of getting a laugh at it.
Yes.
My name is Fiona. Hello, welcome to our podcast. It's still kind of a working title.
Yeah. The current working title is Out of Control.
Yeah, but we also came up with the prospect of just calling it and that didn't really come across well, I don't think.
I mean, what type of noise would we want?
Well,
it's already taken.
I would want it to be uncategorizable. Like, it's something that, you
nothing that we could spell out.
Yeah, something that, if
it would be apostrophe.
Oh, man, you could just go on their YouTube channel and find it or whatever. I don't want anybody being like, oh, it's obviously spelled like this. No, just like, hey, everybody, welcome back to... And today, we had a really special guest.
Would it be spelled like Barb?
Barb? Jamie.
Jamie.
It's just like the name of an ex.
Carmen.
I have cousins named Carmen.
Oh, really?
Well, it's a Puerto Rican family. It's impossible not to have some.
That makes sense.
That's like having an Irish family and having someone in there not have their last name be Murphy.
My family's Irish.
How many Murphys do you have? Notice I said how many. Now you have some.
I mean, I think we're related to a couple, but when I used to go to church, we definitely knew some Murphys that were Irish. This is exciting conversation.
Wow, what an incredible start. So, me and my friend Adam here, we met at work, and that's all we're going to categorize it as, just work.
We're not going to reveal what it is, because we don't want to get in trouble.
The amount of trouble that I have almost gotten into. I so badly, I had this idea in my brain that I really wanted to do to one of our bosses. I wanted to just come up and be like, hey, so I'm going to put something down on your desk, and it's just a working idea. We don't have to go with it or whatever. And I know that you like data backing up a lot of newer ideas. So I'm going to pitch this to you and just let me know how do you feel. And I just want to write premarital sex on a sticky note and then just give it to him. Just be like, so what are your thoughts? And then, if he's like, no, we can't do that, I'm going to write regular sex on a sticky note.
Regular sex. Doesn't have to be attached to marriage.
Yeah, you don't have to be, Because first off, out of all of the serial killers that are hot, Jason Voorhees is not on the list. And out of all the things that he dislikes, premarital sex is, quite clearly.
It's his alarm clock when he gets up in the morning.
Yeah, exactly.
He wakes up to the sounds of orgasm.
He's like, sin?
I just recently rewatched Jason X, and that's literally how he wakes up in the movie.
I know, he's frozen in ice.
In ice, and someone just goes, and he goes,
and I'm online. It's weird because Jason X had one of my favorite kills in any slasher film.
Was it the nitrogen one?
Yeah, that one's cool. He for those of you who have not seen Jason X, you know what? I'm not even gonna bother with a fucking spoiler alert. Oh god, you spoiled Jason X for me. There's
literally the 10th sequel.
Is it really?
Franchise.
I thought it was just Jason X because it was in space. Don't tell me that wasn't reasonable to think.
I'm personally when I hear something that
you think they're gonna be like Jason 5 or something. It's like Jason 5 is in space though. This was the one they see here.
Leprechaun 4 was in space, but that's what they called it.
Was it?
Yeah.
It
was called Leprechaun 4 in space. But it's a formulaic
but the
horror movie that yes, but it's in space.
Oh my god.
And there's fembot androids that one of the passengers
androids. Twitter's gonna have a riot with the prospect of a femboy robot. In fact, now that I think about it, we don't even need to worry about that. That already is a thing because Nier Automata came out and it had that little tiny white haired boy who's also a robot, and everybody was like, "What if we fucked him?" And then a lot of other people were like, "Yes, I like that. I have good thoughts on that."
The scientists were like, this is not what we thought was going to happen when we made this.
don't even hand me that scientists don't make a humanoid robot and then go, people will have great desire to stick pee-pee in it. Let's not go ahead and like, that's like the number one thing that like you see an android and you're like, okay.
You see an Android
put
phone
on the
and
reading
you're like,
glasses here.
you see an Android phone and you're like, whoa, ooh, mama, how are you doing? Like,
oh my god, I would drink your bathwater if you needed to, Dave.
I would drink your electrocuted bath water for you.
You got oil drippings, this blood. I'll lick it up off the asphalt. Crunchy.
Yeah, but Jason X, 10 out of 10, highly recommend.
The best part of the whole movie is literally like they're trying to slow him down, like distract him, and their thought is to like make a simulation where it's just like, check it out, premarital sex, and he's like, well, I can't have that. And the next scene is just him beating the shit out of them against like a tree in a sleeping bag.
Well, he's beating the other one.
My curiosity is like, how did he like? That is intentionally weird. Because could you imagine off screen? Like, if they took the camera from off-screen and he's, like, stuffing them into the sleeping bag because he's like, I got a sick idea for a kill. You're not going to believe this shit.
And they were like, okay.
No sweat. Is this how sex is? I've never been married, so I've never had
premarital sex in a sleeping bag? Oh, okay.
I will go out and say, I have never had sex in a sleeping bag. But also, it just sounds too zippery and too, ow, you shocked me.
I mean, you would literally have to just lay it down and just do it on top of it instead of like both get in.
Snuggling yourself in there like, hey, are you good? And then just kind of like, where are you supposed to angle anything?
Yeah, you're just like two sticks trying to move. Trying to get inside of each other.
Two sticks. Can you imagine the stick guy from A Bug's Life fucking? Can you? He's all like, you always cast me as the prop, the broom, the stick, the whatever,
the dom top.
What was the last thing he said?
It's been so long since
I know, but like I have this weird memory with anything that I've ever seen a couple times. It's like I remember like word for word everything. It was like initially it was like that with Princess Bride, and now I mean I've seen it like a million times, so it's like that doesn't count. Yeah. Okay, so just to spark discussion.
Okay.
Because this apparently doesn't count as discussion in my book. Talking about fucking robots and like snake bugs.
Should we like explain to people just a general
vibe?
I mean, yeah, like our podcast. I
mean, if you want to go for it,
just going to be pretty much us talking
train of
because
thought.
We're very interesting people, and everyone should.
If anybody was sitting here in the chair across from me, or to the side of me, or on the couch cushion next to me, they'd be like, "Man, I cannot wait to whip her out and sniff the shit out of it." I might have to censor a bit of that. You okay?
Yes. You will definitely have to censor out.
I might hear a bit of a beep 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 beep
beep beep beep, or the.
No.
The dolphin noises.
Oh god, like from SpongeBob.
Yes.
Where they're all like, "Oh, you said the best." What if they were saying something genuinely really fucked up?
I mean, in my mind, I was always what I thought they were saying was like bastard, bitch. Like
my dad immediately took it as.
Oh my god. SpongeBob. Wow, SpongeBob canceled for saying.
It's like, wow, he's asexual or gay? I can't remember.
He came out as all
colors. They were like, check it out, we're pandering. I want trans characters, I want gay characters, but I want it to be even moderately relevant within the story. Don't
intentional?
Yeah, intentional. Like, shut the fuck up, J.K. Rowling. It's like, check it out. If you really read between the lines, Dumbledore's totally gay.
I mean, also
but only
shut the fuck
after
up.
I made the story that I made this tweet after that he totally had a relationship with someone else. It's like, Dude, you can't fucking put DLC in your story. Your, like 1,200 page epic. That's not how this works. You can't just like, alright, I'm gonna stuff something in here.
I'm gonna unintentionally retcon something.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I have many emotions about J.K. Rowling. None of them are good.
Fuck J.K. Rowling.
None of them are good.
Yeah.
The only thing that I really like about Harry Potter are the movies, and I'm gonna be honest, most of them are just pretty good. There's like, okay.
It's been a while since I've seen them.
There's three really good ones. Mm-hmm. Like my three favorite, and actually, you know what? I don't want to say really good because that implies that my like opinion is objective or whatever. No, it's just like these are the ones that I like the most. I love Goblet of Fire.
Everybody, can put your name in the Goblet of Fire.
I do think that miserable oaf would have led you into the forest of I am suggesting. Heath Ledger's Joker. That's actually a big problem that I have with the movie. And actually, just the whole story, because the book does it too. I don't give a shit about the Cornelius Fudge bit. I don't care that David Tennant is in it. Exactly.
Oh my god.
You kind of like squinting your eyes, being like, "What the fuck?"
Wait, is that the guy that goes?
Yeah, David Tennant.
Like he's like a snake or something.
He's the dude who was disguising himself as Mad-Eye Moody. Which
in
means,
the flashback?
No, in the whole movie.
Oh, in
which means that we don't know who Mad-Eye Moody is. We know who this guy who is pretending to be Mad-Eye Moody is. So when we see him later, he might as well be a new character, except he acts like exactly the same. So it's like, what the fuck? You could have just had the regular fucking Mad-Eye Moody in there.
Does that imply that she got killed off?
Well, no, Mad-Eye is a fella. Mad-Eye Moody is a fellow. Yeah. Even though I do
he's
love
the guy that
like the weird belt thingy over his eyeball that's like meow.
No, we saw him in a trunk.
Yeah, we saw him practically dead in a trunk at the end of the movie. Wow, what an incredible character arc he had throughout this film. God damn it, I hated that. That got me so upset because I like Mad-Eye Moody. I really do like him. And
I guess the intention is to make you think of what part of the story he like body swapped.
But that's the thing is that it's like I don't.
But
care.
It doesn't do it well.
Well, not just that. I don't give a shit about the Cornelius Fudge part because what real relevance did it have to the story? You could have just had fucking the rat guy, Peter Pettigrew. Yeah. You could have just had him be the guy who was like who put fucking Harry's name into the goblet. He can already get into the castle, as we know. So it's like there's no reason to pull this weird bait and switch of an actually enjoyable character and then just have him die off screen.
Yeah, and to never be hurt. Well, he came back in the last
movie. He comes back in Order of the Phoenix, and he's I think he spoiler alerts or spoilers. I think he dies in the first Deathly Hallows.
Yeah, I think
it's
so.
Part 1.
I know that he's like the person that's like traveling around with Harry.
Yeah, he's all like
fucking saddle thing.
He's all like yeah, he's got his little sidecar.
That's exactly what he sounds like.
but okay, Goblet of Fire was probably my favorite because I really loved the little hedge maze thing. Cedric Diggory is kind of lame as fuck, and I kind of wish that like he was super cool instead of just kind of like not an asshole like everybody else is in the movies.
Yeah.
There is a lot to enjoy, but like there's some dumb shit in there. But like my favorite three was that one, Prisoner of Azkaban, which is like that one is the tits. I fucking love that one.
That's the one I always forget.
That's the one with like the fucking like raids where they're all like "Ree, bitch," and Harry Potter's like "Oh no," and then time travel's all like "Woo!"
Oh yeah, the time travel.
That is the only form of media where time travel doesn't seem super stupid. The problem is that with the implication of time travel being a thing, it also undoes a lot of the relevance and importance of a lot of other stuff.
Yeah.
Because it's like we could just time travel back and fix it. And then J.K. Rowling was like, well, no, because if they did, then... a lot of what I'm saying, because I don't have any opinions of my own, if you want like a good breakdown of it, you guys can go and check out this YouTuber, Cosmonaut Picture Show. He did a really good breakdown of like all the Harry Potter movies and a lot of the discrepancies and stuff. But like, I'm glad that like he and I thought similarly about it, just to let you know that I'm not just kind of copy and pasting like opinions.
Like someone is like
40 minutes of this video is me doing it word for word.
And someone's just like, wait a minute.
Like, that's super weird.
That sounds like this video. Yeah, so this podcast is...
Well, what are your favorite Harry Potter movies?
I mean, I have an emotional attachment to the Chambers of Secrets one because that was the one that I bought on DVD.
The one with the really racist snake?
Yes. And the DVD has a bunch of special features that I would watch. I love watching the special features on DVDs.
My mom does that all the time. Anytime we get a movie on like Redbox or whatever, like back when I was living with them, we used to always was like, we'll check out the bloopers, and I'm like, and it's always like a bunch of people like maybe making a funny face when they mess up, and then it's like, yeah.
But I love watching like the behind the scenes featurettes and like the weird documentaries that they just attach to it. So the second one, and I don't know. I mean, I'm not really I'm not like a Harry Potter stan, but I am friends with a lot of Harry Potter fanatics. Same. So I sort of by osmosis absorb a lot of information.
That's how I was with Star Wars at first.
Yeah, and I also really love a Harry Potter musical, which is a parody of the Harry Potter books.
Yeah, I saw a little bit of that.
And
Lucius Malfoy is very just like,
you don't know where to... Oh, so good. And, well, there's 3 of them. I
don't know if we can sing those songs.
I mean, it's a parody of a copyrighted thing.
I don't know.
So it's... The copyright is already a little confusing.
All I'm saying is that I don't know.
But there's a Harry Potter musical, a Harry Potter sequel, and a Harry Potter senior year that I just love. And the theater production company that put them on. I just love their work. So I'm more involved in that part of the fandom than I am with the actual source material.
I'm going to be honest, I totally get where you're coming from. Well, because there's a lot of stuff out there where like the actual stuff that like the people get super excited about is weirdly is less interesting than the community. Like I don't know shit about Homestuck, but a lot of people seem to be really into Homestuck. So there must it was like this webcomic back in like 2000 in the 2010s.
Oh.
That was like I guess pretty good. But I don't know, it was odd because like in my brain I'm like, this is just a is it good? And people are like, no. And I'm like, then what the fuck is so special about it?
It's like people like this.
It's like when people like the community around Doctor Who is awesome, but Doctor Who the show is fucking nonsense. Like 80% of the show has to be explained to you by someone else, and like that's totally fine if that's like the kind of show that you like. For me, I like that's just not for me. That's one of the reasons why I can understand
episodes,
like right? Yeah, exactly. There's like what, like 15, 14 seasons or something like that. I don't know.
I think it's more than that because it like was, or I don't know, because there's like an old Doctor Who.
H-U-G-H.
Yes. There's like a Doctor Who from the 70s
and seasons of.
Because there's like 11 Doctors or something, and they're on the 11th Doctor.
There have been 26 seasons of Doctor Who.
Yeah.
That's like that's too many. That's far too much of the much.
Yeah.
Much of the much.
Much of the much. I'm surprised that they're still keeping it fresh.
I don't even know if
from
they
what
are.
I've heard, they aren't.
Well, from what I heard, the early shit was not great, and then the later shit got better, and now it's like I guess around the best it's been in a long time. I hear like the David Tennant stuff was like really good for a lot of people, and then like Matt Smith, the guy who's like in the in between being attractive and not. He looks like if a mole was the most attractive mole. Like you're just like hanging out in like Montana
like, hey,
or whatever.
Mr. Mole.
Hey baby.
Who
lives in Montana?
Hannah Montana.
Oh fuck, I forgot.
That's her origin story.
Out of all of the states to name yourself after, she picked one that she didn't even live in. They were like,
I mean, it's like Hennessy, Tennessee. Like, what?
Schman's, Kansas. Like, I don't fucking know.
Barkensaw, Arkansas.
Arkansas. They did an episode of Hannah Montana where like Jackson was like or Bucky, Kentucky. That's what it was. What city? Where did they live in Hannah Montana?
I think in like California.
That's so silly to me, which is weird because like I cannot not admit that a lot of Hannah Montana stuff, she actually did have some bops in there.
I loved the Hannah Montana movie.
I actually, you know what? I have to, like, as much as Miley Cyrus has never heard me talk shit about her, I do have to apologize because, like, I don't know. There were times when I was like, she's just another... Teenage girls like her, so she must be terrible. And no, she's a really, really talented singer, and she's a pretty talented songwriter, and like I think she deserves that credit. Her and Taylor Swift. I clown a lot on Taylor Swift, and like as much as her music is not for me, like she's been writing music for a long time, and she deserves the credit that she has.
Yes, she does deserve credit. I just don't think she's my cup of tea.
She's not for me. Well, it's funny because
I have a lot of connections with early Taylor.
I have a lot of connections with Taylor. She and I went to the Jamba Juice around the corner.
Yeah, we went to Nyada together.
She and I spotted each other at Coachella in 2013.
And my name is secretly Tadrick Hall. But
yo, can you introduce me to Avi? It's a Pentatonics reference for anybody who didn't get that.
Tadrick Hall is not in Pentatonics.
I know he's not, but like he did some stuff with them. Actually, now that I think about it, he did stuff with every Pentatonic member except for Avi.
Yeah, I think so.
They did like a weird, they did like a mashup for like some like Lucky Charms thing, and I think he was in it.
They did
like a Starbucks song that he was in.
Yeah, and I think he was also in the Wizard of Oz.
Oh yeah, that little Wizard of Oz thing that they did.
Mm-hmm.
Which like, that was cool.
Yes.
I at no point, and as much as Pentatonics lost me, like after Avi left, like. They're still talented, but like all of their stuff is now just not as good. I love Avi. I even love like his solo stuff. If any of you haven't check it out. Avriel and the Sequoias. He came out with his first EP. I can't remember if it was last year or the year before that, but it's pretty solid. It's like a nice little like a little fun folk kind of music, and I really like it. It screams like having a hike through a place you've both never been to but aren't afraid of.
I love that. You know, a comforting new place.
Exactly. And you can bet your ass that if a song has whistling on it, I'll like it. I also don't know why. I don't know why that is. Me and my dad...
Wanna blow my whistle, baby. Whistle, baby.
Anyone can whistle.
For those of you who don't know us, we both... One of our common... we don't have a lot in common, but one of the things that we do have in common is that we both really like music. Not necessarily the same, or we both have
not
different...
Not at all the same.
We're both in different, like, sides of the music stratosphere.
Yeah, well,
but there's crossover.
Well, it's odd because everybody has, like, that friend that's like, oh, I'll listen to anything, and they don't. It's really, like, they listen to metal, and then they listen to some indie stuff, and they're like, that's everything!
That's everything!
But, like, I try not to be the person who says that, and I also try to be the person who, if I did say it, it would be true. Mm-hmm. Because I mean, you and I, when we the last time that we were at work, we like shared an AirPod and we were like showing each other stuff ranging from like Opeth to Hozier or Fiona Apple.
Yeah.
So like it's the musical side of the spectrum it's long, but as far as like stuff that I never got into, I never really got into a whole lot of like country, like pop country, and I never got myself into punk. And the problem is I fought tooth and nail to get into punk. I love like the aesthetic of it. I love like the intended message and just like, you know, the screams of the downtrodden, like being as loud as they can, kind of dragging up as much commotion as they can. But the sound really doesn't do it for me. it sucks because I want to like it. I really do. And like I have nothing but admiration for the artists who like pump their heart and soul into their music and into like their performances and all that stuff. But like, I don't like it.
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate punk and especially like the punk aesthetic. If I were to release a solo album tomorrow, it probably will not be a punk
very
album.
Likely not, yeah.
If so, it probably would be like a pop punk sort of like...
That's actually...
Panic at the Disco.
That's actually an interesting like thought, is like if you and I were to like, considering like... we're both musicians to a degree, and like we're both vocalists, but I'm still trying to teach myself how to play guitar, and I've been playing drums for around 11 years.
I can make a song on GarageBand.
Hell yeah. Honestly, there is nothing wrong with that.
Yes.
I mean, you'll get some good stuff on there.
Very that.
But like, I was talking to a friend a couple months ago, and we were like discussing like, if you were to drop an EP, what band would you be similar to? Like, what band do you think you would take after? And I'm like, I don't know, because I mean, I like a lot of bands, and there's a lot of like sound that synergizes with me, but there's also a lot of sound that feels like it's really easy to rip off. Like, if you sound even anything like Tool, any person who has heard it will climb down your throat and pull out your guts. Or at least they'll pretend to, because they'll just be pretentious about it the whole time.
Yeah.
Because Jesus Christ, out of all of the fandoms that I'm happy to be in, Tool is not among them. But I'm in it, so I literally got a poster right there, and I'm gonna be real, like, I love the band, but holy shit, the fans really ruin it for a lot of people. But I don't know, like, I love A Perfect Circle, I love, like, Pearl Jam, but I still love, like, the bluesy side of stuff, like some Cab Calloway, and, like, it's weird, because there's a lot of music just around everybody, and everybody wishes that they would make something, like, totally and fully original. Yeah. And, like, everything that you make, to a degree, is original. Nobody but you made that music. So, like, yeah, I mean, if you're an aspiring artist, and this is an artist for anything, like whether you're a writer, or a poet, or a painter, or a drawer, a sketch person, artist, I guess. I don't know.
Drawer.
I sold it. But if you're any of those, and you look at your work, and you're like, oh, it's just this. No, it's not. You made it. It's your thing. Like, don't try to beat down your own art just because you made it. Because, like, if your friend of yours showed you that exact same art, you'd be like, holy fuck, that's amazing. So give yourself that same kind of room to accept that you're doing something. And a lot of people are doing nothing. So
yeah,
be happy with what you're making. At the same time, any music I would make would be fucking dog shit.
Oh my god. Well, to piggyback off of that point,
of course,
for those of you who don't know, I more come from the musical theater world, because that's where I grew up.
I very much come from the rock and metal group.
Yes. But there's this one musical called Sunday in the Park with George. It's based off of the guy, George Seurat, who painted Sunday Afternoon on the Island of the Grand Jatte. It is, like, mostly fictitious. There's, like, truth spattered around there, but it's mostly historical fiction, because there's not a lot known about the actual guy. So they sort of, like, fill in blanks and say, like, oh, this person was that person in the painting, and blah, 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 blah. But at the end,
spoilers.
Spoilers. It's been out since 87, but spoilers. At the end, his great-grandson is an artist as well, and then his great-grandmother visits him from beyond the grave, and they sing this beautiful song called Move On, and the last word of the song is like, anything you do, let it come from you, then it will be new. Which is, like, exactly what you were talking about.
I do like the wordplay of that. That's really nice.
Yeah, Stephen Sondheim, who wrote it, is
of course,
a big
the
fan
Tool of musicals.
Big fan of doing a triple rhyme. Like, there's a lump on her rump big enough to be a hump.
Jesus
But
Christ.
on! There's time to sit and dither while her wither's with her. Like
that's actually a good like segue into like. I wanted to talk about just like art to recommend to the audience.
Oh,
just like stuff that it's like, yo, check this out. Like this would be a really good thing, especially on like a first episode. So like people come away with something.
Yes,
please come back.
Please come back. We need you. Please
don't turn off the podcast. Anyway,
please.
Okay, don't whine too much. Some people will either find it hot or annoying.
Oh,
and we really don't want to pay to either of those. So like, did you have any like musicals that you wanted to recommend to the audience?
I really love. So one of my favorite musicals, both of them are like rock musicals. One of them is Passing Strange, which is a musical written by Stu of Stu and the Negro Problems, which is a band.
Whoa!
that not a lot
I wish you had seen the look on my face on it.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people's faces are whenever I say that it's like Stu and the Negro Problems. And I think the funny thing is that like
we're both white, by the way.
Yeah, we're both white.
Want that to be clear.
Stu, I think, was like the only black guy in the band.
Oh, really?
But he like wrote most of the music, so like
I guess it is his problems.
Yeah, his problems. And it's like sort of based off of his life, but it's like a fictionalized version where this guy grows up in California in the 70s with his family, escapes to Amsterdam because he feels constricted by everything, by his mom, by his family, by his culture, by his religion, moves to Amsterdam in the height of the 70s, so it's like all weed, rock and roll, sex, drugs, living it up, and he feels
I've never done drugs.
I have never done a drug.
Anyway, continue. That was supposed to be a joke for Instagram.
I've never done a drug.
God help us if we get into like a segue that's like, so cocaine is interesting because it's like, I don't know.
Cocaine, not for me, but maybe it's for you.
Yeah, not for me. I could feel like my soul enveloped around me.
Well, there is actually a part where in the second act where he moves to Berlin because he's like, I feel too restrictive in paradise.
Yeah, the sex capital of the world.
The sex capital of the world, and then he goes to Berlin at the height of like the East-West Berlin conflict. So he's like in the opposite of paradise.
Big problems.
And there's one part where he's like, no one ever gave to him the some da 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 da, and then you think he's gonna say like keys or like peace, and he says speed, and then he just goes, oh, and then like this, and then the second act of the musical is like very like punk rock, very edgy. It goes through like all the genres of rock, from like psychedelic rock to like more like flower power rock.
Who is it written by?
Written by Stu.
Oh, I'm a fucking moron.
From Stu the Negro Problems.
Oh my god.
And it's also written by his collaborator and one-time romantic partner, Heidi R. something.
One-time romantic partner?
Well, they were in a band together, and they were like romantically involved with each other, and then they got famous.
Give it a little shimmy,
and then they
emphasize the romance.
Yeah, got a shimmy to really emphasize.
If I was to recommend a musical, it would have to be. I only have two, and I'm gonna let you do
I didn't say that my second one.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, sorry.
So the second one is my all-time favorite musical, Hedwig and the Angry Inch.
It's so good.
It's about this biologically born male person named Hansel who lives on the east side of Berlin at the height of
lots of Berlin
in my favorite musicals, and
not to be confused with the band Berlin. Do not remember Soldier sleeping next to me.
I have no idea what you're talking about, but
that was that song at work that I could not remember what it was, when it was like, I remember hating you for nothing me.
Duh.
Yeah, obviously.
But Hansel...
Look, you shot me.
But Hansel, in order to escape communist East Berlin, marries this American general, and in order to do that has to get a sex change, but that sex change is botched and is left with an angry Inch, a flab of skin where his penis used to be, where the vagina never was, and took on their mother's name, Hedwig, and the musical is told as if, like, Hedwig is in a rock band and they're at a rock show and is basically, like, drunk, high off drugs, just telling their life story while singing these songs that they wrote over their time period.
It's really, really good. It's really interesting.
So good. If you have a chance to see the musical, definitely, but the movie adaptation is written, directed, and starred by the original person who wrote the musical.
Is it really?
Yeah, so it's like a very faithful adaptation.
I remember Neil Patrick Harris was in...
He was in the Broadway revival.
Yeah, the Broadway revival.
I have a T-shirt with his face on it with all the glitter, and he's like...
Yeah, and like a little, like...
Yeah, he's got his tongue sticking out.
I saw the album cover. I was in the car with a friend of mine, and we were like listening to it, and I was like, "Is this guy sounds familiar?" And he goes, "It's Neil Patrick Harris," and I was like,
Barney.
"Really?"
Barney
he was
from
like,
How I Met Your
he
Mother.
doesn't strike you as the gay that performs, and I was like, "Oh, yeah." Maybe I'm a dumbass. I'm sorry. If I were to recommend two to you, we would go with my favorite. And anybody who has ever heard me talk about musicals knows it's my favorite. Is Hadestown. Hadestown is one of the most brilliant works of art, not just musicals, that I've ever seen. It follows the telling of the tale of Orpheus from Greek mythology. Orpheus and his good old girlfriend, quotation marks,
wife, fiance,
yeah,
lover.
wife, fiance, lady, and then you got, like, you know, the whole conflict between Orpheus and Hades, the king of the underworld, and like the whole story of them having to walk back into, like, the realm of the living, basically, and like the whole purpose of it is that Orpheus has to find a way to convince Hades to let him bring his lady love back to life. And it's so astounding to me, and I know that I've discussed this with you before, but it's so astounding to me that, like, one of the whole purposes of the conflict between Hades and Orpheus is that Orpheus has to come up with the perfect song to move the most unmovable person. And even though, and I mean, like, we've all heard songs that are, like, that we enjoy more than that one, but it's also, like, at no point, like, during the musical did we not think that might work. We were like, this is so beautiful. There are incredible songs, like, just buried, like, in everything. Whether it's, like, in every setting, like, just the Motown settings of just the regular world, the underworld motifs of, like, the working class kind of people, and then just, like, the real dread that comes along with, like, and doubt comes in. Like, if you get the chance to check it out, it's one of my favorite things. I really love it. It's so good, and it's got Patrick Page in it, who I, for the longest time, thought voiced Claude Frollo in The Hunchback of Notre Dame, and I know what you're thinking. He does.
No!
You're thinking he does, and you would weirdly be wrong. Adam is fucking having, like, a stroke over here.
Because when this initially came up, I was fighting. I was like, it is not Patrick Page. I know this for a fact. I was also wrong. I was convinced that it was Christopher Lee.
No. Yeah, I was like,
it's not Patrick Page, it's Christopher Lee.
See, that's why I was like, it has to be Patrick Page now, because he's such a dumbass and he thinks that Christopher Lee fucking voiced
But then
we
looked it up, and it's the guy that voiced the creepy French guy in Beauty and the Beast, which is also not Patrick Page.
Also not him. And they sound so similar.
They do, I'll give you that.
Like, I cannot even, like, put into words how unbelievably similar they sound.
They do.
But Patrick Page actually plays Claude Frollo in the musical Hunchback of Notre Dame, which I would also recommend, but that is not the other thing that I was going to say.
Yeah.
The other amazing musical that you should check out is Chess. I've been trying to get Adam to listen to Chess for months, and he still hasn't listened to it. If you're a very big fan of ABBA, you will love Chess. It's got really, really, really well written songs. The melodies are intricate and like they weave themselves as a motif throughout the rest of the show. And it's literally just about people and countries themselves being the most petty motherfuckers about a goddamn game of chess. Because Russia doesn't like to lose. That's literally what the whole thing is about.
But Russia doesn't like to lose.
They don't. They have a whole fucking song about it, about how they ain't gonna lose. We don't do that.
We don't do the losing thing.
Yeah, if you're interested, like if you want to get yourself into it, literally just look up Soviet Machine. It's like one of the funniest songs like I've ever heard. It's like my favorite villain song in any musical that wasn't like Hey Little Songbird or like Hellfire.
Yeah.
All of which are incredibly amazing songs and really good productions. It's actually really sad that Hunchback of Notre Dame didn't make it to Broadway.
Yeah.
It was really well produced. It was really well acted and really well written. Like, if you like the movie, if you've ever seen the movie Hunchback of Notre Dame, and you thought, wow, George Flo is a really interesting character. No, he fucking isn't. He's literally just an evil guy who just happens to be horny and then say stuff. Yeah. Like, it's not like...
Yeah, I think they put themselves in a corner. I just sent Fiona a very interesting video that I think they would really like. About...
Oh, I've seen this one.
Oh, you have?
Yeah, I've seen it.
Oh, okay.
All I do is be on YouTube looking at video essays of stuff I already like. Of just people being like, see, it's good. And I was like, I knew I was right.
The video that I sent was a video by this wonderful YouTube channel that I love, Wait in the Wings. They do a lot of video essays basically on like... You want to know why something flopped on Broadway? They probably have a video about it. But...
It's like those things where it's like, this is why we can't have a great white shark in an aquarium.
Yes, exactly. But I think they put themselves in a corner because one of the big draws of it was the fact that they had like that 500-person choir on the side. And like that was integral to the story and... Love the musical. It's not the best musical ever written.
No, not at all.
So that, unless it was the best musical ever written, I don't think it was going to move to Broadway with those type of requirements.
Well, because there's musicals that make it to Broadway, and this is just a natural aspect of like every musical ever that gets popular, is that like people with much less money than Broadway are going to try and redo them. So it's your local theater coming up with playbills that are like, hey, would you like to see your favorite play performed worse than you've ever seen it? Like, that's what it's like when you go and see like Sweeney Todd or 1776 or like...
And Disney never did a tour of it.
Yeah,
they just performed it. Happened. They performed it in LA and in Jersey, and then they... I'm
so glad that it exists.
Yeah,
but also
me too.
I'm so annoyed at all of the other like Disney musicals that just pervade the space that like that could have taken up because they took characters that felt like something kinda in such a tonally dissonant movie, even though like I like the movie, but I swear to God, if they don't remove the goddamn gargoyles from that shit, it was the worst part of the whole thing. I would rather
into a bird.
I would rather eat a sandwich that's just pickles, and I hate pickles. I may be a trans woman, but I hate pickles.
Is that a stereotype that trans women love pickles?
So trans women, when they're on estrogen and spirolactone and sometimes progesterone, they experience salt deficiencies, and pickles are a great way to get that salt. And a lot of people really like pickles, so they're just kind of like, all right, well, I'll just fucking feast on this shit. And it's literally just like pickled cucumbers. So it's like, they're good for you.
Yeah.
They satisfy an urge that your body needs outside of just like pouring a fucking gallon of vinegar down your throat. Just like, hey, like, great, awesome, I finally worked through my salt deficiency. But yeah, that is a trans woman stereotype.
Interesting.
There's a couple that I've been learning, and it's bizarre because I cannot believe that I wasn't aware of them before. Like,
okay.
The folks, and God, I hope nobody that knows me in real life listens to this. But I was very active gamer e-boy, very introverted extrovert, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
And then it's like, don't talk to me, but I will talk to you. very big, like a lot of big energy discrepancy between the two like forms of myself.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, and a lot of trans women I'm noticing, they will start off that way and then they peel back. Like they kind of go from being like super active and confident or like super active and anxious to being less active and even more anxious. Like, you remember that thing? And now you're scared to be anywhere. And it was very likely even worse before, you know, the whole disease thing.
Disease thing. You mean coronavirus?
Of course.
Okay.
But like before, it was not cool to be in a lot of places and stuff, and I mean, a lot of people are probably happy with it because they get to, you know, pop a mask on, and then it's like, all right, like, yeah, now you don't have to worry about like seeing my jaw or whatever.
Yeah, like, there's more opportunity for people to feel like they can pass.
Yeah, and for me, passing isn't like, that's not my primary goal. I'm not like sitting around here like, oh man, I really hope that cis people like me. Oh, like
I need
my goal is to be two things: one, happy, and two, fuckable. If I am not those two things, I have failed.
I have failed,
and I need to do more corset training.
Oh,
I'm joking on that one.
I need to do more corset training.
But and this is just a message from us. Mm-hmm. If you are gay or you are bi or you are lesbian or transgender or non-binary or anything that I didn't just say, except for super straight. If you're super straight, fuck you. But if you are any of those things, you are valid, and we love you, and we respect you, and we would love for you to keep watching because we want to like keep creating content that's like good for people.
Yes.
That like, I don't know, just feel alienated by certain forms of media, and like it's nice because music is a good place to divulge that. Film is a good place to divulge that because it all feels so genderless. Yeah,
it's a great way to quote unquote respectively culturally appreciate instead of appropriate, or like you can make a song. Oh shit! Oh god damn it! What? That's my alarm.
Oh no! That was you like. Okay, I know you guys didn't see it, but like he like sat up in the chair and like stressed out his larynx and like had his mouth open for like a solid half a second before a noise came out. It was truly haunting. If I heard that in like an abandoned parking lot, not only would I run the other direction, I would dig down.
Yeah, I don't remember what initially my point was, but I did know that it had to do with that
cultural appreciation.
Appreciation. You can like write a song that has like genderless pronouns, and that will make someone feel like they're a part of it,
incorporated into it.
Exactly.
That's one of the reasons why I always feel like it's such pussy shit when like I don't know, like a woman writes a love song and it's about a guy, and then a guy covers that love song and he makes it about a girl.
He changes the pronouns.
It's like, bitch, you're gonna fuck a man. That's what's gonna happen.
I think it's more interesting when
don't talk about Santa baby as if he's your friend. No, you're trying to have sex with Santa Claus.
You're trying to have sex with Santa Claus to get yourself a Rolex watch.
Exactly. How do you think I got this one?
Oh, that's Rolex?
Yeah. Well, no, it's like a Bulova or whatever. I don't know what a Rolex. I don't know what a Rolex looks like. I know that a Rolex is just like a nice watch. Is it a brand?
Like a fancy brand. Yeah,
oh,
I think so.
I don't know. My brain was like.
Yeah, but our content is definitely for people of the LGBTQ plus persuasion.
Yeah.
But
and of course if you are trans and you're still straight, that's also like cool. Straight people, you're on thin fucking ice, but you're okay in our books so long as you're not a fucking weirdo and you don't like go onto like random women's Facebook profiles and like send them weird things just because they do sex work. We're also very sex work positive.
Yes, sex work positivity. We do not judge people based on...
We do, but not for sex work.
Not on them doing sex work. Also, those who are questioning
how come you don't do pits? What's wrong?
Also, those who are questioning out there, just know that it is a journey. And there are no right answers, but there's also no wrong answers. So
there is one. Super straight is the wrong answer. So if you get
dial
there,
back, you've gone too far.
Yeah.
but also know that like no one is perfect. You will find that destination, whatever it is, eventually.
And that's a good thing to like build off of, because like no one is perfect, and it always really like freaks me out when like a lot of people become fans of someone's content and then they don't see them do anything super weird, so they presume that they are perfectly awesome and that there's nothing they could ever do that's wrong. Mm-hmm. Just a quick shout out, you're wrong. Everybody out there has fucked up to some degree, and you've fucked up to some degree probably, and like you might have done it without even realizing it, or accidentally, or even if you did do it with realizing it, so long as you move on as a human being and you forgive yourself and you give yourself kind of the mental gymnastics that it takes to make sure that whatever it is that you did intentionally never happens again, then there's no such thing as a bad person. There's really just bad actions.
Yeah.
So like, so long as you are working to improve yourself and try to be good, you will be good. Mm-hmm. So don't be too hard on yourselves out there. Like, if anybody is like going through like a sexuality or a gender journey or just like a self journey, just know we're there.
There's
for you.
a lot of self journeys going on during this Corona time.
A lot of shit going. This is the perfect time. The second perfect time. The actual
first
perfect
self-discovery
time would very likely be during the actual apocalypse. Because I mean,
during
who's going to judge you like, now?
Wait a minute, I'm gay.
Fuck. Then again, no, I mean, like, if the apocalypse happens, Grindr's going to be offline, and I'm going to be honest, that's a great time for gay people to just realize that they should have deleted it from their phones.
It'll be the apocalypse until gay people realize that Grindr is just so toxic.
It's like, okay, so...
But do I still have a Grindr? Absolutely.
Absolutely. Listen, that's one of those apps that you really delete when you're like, nope, I'm done. Never again. And then you re-download it again when you want some attention.
Yep. You're like, wait a minute, I didn't get this much validation without
From anywhere.
From anywhere.
like, oh man, nobody just compliments me for no reason. But that's like the only thing I really love about Grindr is that I will randomly get messages that are like, oh my god, you are so gorgeous and beautiful. Would you give me some pictures? That would be amazing from a celestial, ethereal beauty like yourself. And I'm like, no, but thanks.
Also, I've gotten this 3 times today. Are you guys working from a script?
Yeah.
Exact wording, too.
Wow, you spelled ethereal wrong, though. There's no Y in there. This isn't Final Fantasy 12.
That is very true. I mean, once you're on Grindr, every single type of person gets complimented by an old gay.
And and you know what's weird is that if it happened in person, I would appreciate it so much more.
Yeah,
but since it doesn't, and it happens in a place where text means the same thing as like a Kraft single of cheese, like it doesn't matter. Now this has no value to me, and like that's an important thing when it comes to like praising somebody is the proposed value of your word. That's one of the reasons why like so many people, when they're like cashiers or something, or like a very nice old black lady like calls you honey or baby or like says something really sweet to you, and you're like, I would kill more than one person for you.
I would do awful crimes
and
for
they
you
would
just
innocent.
To make sure you're safe.
Yeah. I'd have them go through a journey of self-discovery so that they become innocent so I can kill them. Threatened positivity.
Wow, that's the type of positivity that I need in my life.
Exactly. It's like I need somebody who is willing to go the extra mile. It's like,
mile.
Oh yeah, well I guess you wouldn't do anything for your kids.
Yeah, like you didn't make me go through a personal discovery.
Just to kill me?
You're not a real friend. Fuck you.
Oh my god, so many fake friends out there right now.
So many fake people.
So many
fake time.
fake time.
So many fake time.
What is that? What is that?
So many fake people, so many fake time. I don't know.
I'm really glad that you said that. That's a really good bit that we have. Enter that into the hang on, I need a piece of paper and a pencil to write that down. So
put it in the Smithsonian.
Yeah.
The Smithsonian.
I liked the Night at the Museum movies.
I only watched the first one.
The first one is really the only one that's worth it. But like,
wasn't the third one like Robin Williams' last screen performance?
I think so. It was like that, or like some other like indie movie that he did for someone. But like, it was very near the end of his life. And rest in peace, Robin Williams. He was a great actor and a great performer.
Love his work.
Really good stuff.
Very cliched, but I do love seeing those Facebook photos of Robin Williams looking in the mirror, and he's like all those different masks of the roles that he's played.
I really like those.
I've seen lots of suburban moms share that, but I'm fine with that.
Yeah, it's like that, and then like extra exercise. I thought you said extra fries with like a minion in a diaper or something.
Minions.
And they're like,
everywhere.
this is the peak of comedy. Why won't my daughter talk to me?
This is the height of luxury.
Also, John Mulaney got out of rehab like a week ago.
Thank God that king is safe.
I have a lot of love for John Mulaney. I hope he stays healthy and happy. If not for himself, then for Anna. Because
his wife?
Yeah.
Okay.
Anna seems like she would kick the fuck out of him if like he gets into more stuff.
Probably has.
Does John Mulaney seem like the kind of guy who gets pegged?
I'm sure he's tried it.
I'm sure it's happened to him before. I don't know if it was his idea. I feel like I could definitely...
Has he done it multiple times?
That is on the table.
Because
he did like a... Do you remember that thing he did with the Queer Eye people? Where like they like dressed a fuckable John, they called it. Yeah, it was like a 17-minute like little special thing that they did where they did like dressed him up all fancy and stuff. And he looked like... You know how you look at him?
Yeah.
And he looks like a tall child.
Yes.
As proposed in some of his comedy specials, so I'm not just being mean. Also, John looks fine. I don't know what his problem with himself is, but like I saw him and I was like, "Whoa, look at this man."
What?
You've never seen that?
I've
really?
never seen this.
Literally,
I need to find fuckable John.
You could probably literally type that into Google search and you will find images of him in like some nice like low-cut denim jacket or whatever, like next to like a car or something. I am serious.
What is it called?
I don't know.
Fuckable
John, I guess.
Fuckable John.
Just dial it in. John Mulaney, fuckable or something.
Yeah. No.
Yeah. No. Well, it's complicated.
It's
just
talking
like
about
a whole...
Pete Davidson.
Pete Davidson.
Peter Davidson.
Pete Davidson always looks like he woke up late for something.
This?
No.
Oh, okay.
He was not with Pete Davidson when it happened.
I don't know why.
Honestly,
I found that so
like
funny.
in my brain, I am categorizing Pete Davidson always looks like he woke up late for something, and then because he woke up late, he just decided not to go.
Yeah, that's what makes him so fuckable.
It's like that picture of like Ariana Grande with like the lollipop or whatever, and he's just sitting there like,
And she...
He was like, when's the light gonna
like,
turn?
yeah.
When's the walk signal gonna come on? And she's like, rearrange my guts, daddy.
Which he probably did.
He probably does.
Ariana
Grande is such a weirdo to me because it's like every time I see her in anything that's not like her performances, it's odd. And when I say performances, I mean like musically performing.
Yeah.
Like, did you ever see Sam and like Alex or whatever?
Sam and Cat?
Yeah, Sam and Cat.
You
remember what her voice sounded like? It was hellish. It was like the auditory equivalent of just biting into a raw onion.
Yeah. And apparently the reason why she puts her hair in a ponytail was because she just kept dyeing her hair like her hair was really that color, and she would dye it all the time, and apparently it like fucked up her hair.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
which is weird because I mean it looks great now.
Yeah, but she styles it and like puts it in a ponytail, and then there's probably like a hair piece attached to it.
Does stuff or something to it.
Yeah. Yeah. She has people. Like she has stylists.
That always makes me wonder, and like I've been saying this for a long time, that like how hot would we be if we had people that would just like do it for us, you know?
Probably extremely.
That's the weird thing, is that like
extremely,
because Adam, not to do anything, but like you look amazing.
Oh, thank you.
You look great.
Thank you.
And I mean, I don't have to say it. I look awesome all the time.
You look stunning, amazing, talented, beautiful, inventive.
Is that the Lady Gaga thing?
Yes. Yeah. Brilliant, inventive in every way.
Show-stopping.
That's what I was trying to do. Wait, what was your point about me being extremely attractive?
Oh, but I'm sorry. Are we going back to that? I'm saying like we have things to work with. Like it's not like And
do I know how to dress this?
No,
not really.
No, not at all. Well, I mean, okay. If I looked at you, which I am looking at you right now. And if you were standing as straight as you could, like as much of as a straight person as you could, like that, I'd be like, this person still takes it up the ass.
With the Cosby sweater?
Like, really? And the cargo pants? And the
joggers.
Long socks?
They're joggers.
And the goatee?
Yeah. The beard. I need to shave.
And the not fully rolled up sweater sleeves. They're like just rolled up to about your forearms.
Yeah, you know, just to show a little...
I'm literally wearing a fucking Anthrax shirt with a bralette and tight, like, pants. That's all I'm wearing. I'm naked under all these clothes.
I have a confession.
Yeah?
I am also naked under all of my clothes. This is an interesting...
Little did I know, I was doing a podcast with a fucking whore.
I did not know that we had these prejudices hidden inside
Weren't we just open to everyone on the podcast?
Didn't we just say we're fine with sex workers?
Yeah.
This is how I make my money.
It's like
being naked underneath
keep
my
your
body.
work out of our work, okay?
Fine, I'll keep it at the door.
Anyway, thank you so much for listening. This has been the first episode of the podcast. We really hope that you like it. And if you hate it, then don't say anything, please, because that's going to hurt my feelings. But if you like it, definitely also don't say anything. Just never talk. I want everybody to shut the fuck.
It's too loud in here. Please be quiet.
I have auditory processing issues.
I
see
also
comments
heard...
on YouTube saying nice things. I will have a fit.
I mean, I also heard that if you press the like button twice, it double hates it. So
or unlikes it. It just doesn't do anything.
No, the dislike button. You hit it twice because you really don't like it.
It's like,
double hate it.
I really don't like this dang
double
thing.
hit it.
Dang old darn.
Dimmadarn.
Dimma Turner, my name is Doug Dimmadome, owner of the
Doug Dimmadome.
Not right. That's right. That still kills you, and I don't know why. I introduced you to the video implying that something else about it was funny, and that's the thing that you love. Not the weird sped up Linkin Park part, not like the weird computer glitch part.
But that's the thing that makes this a great podcast, is that we've watched the same video.
Self-proclaimed comedy.
And we think two completely separate different things are funny about it.
Oh, the quickest way to make me laugh is to just throw computer glitches into everything. It's just the funniest shit in the world to me, and I don't know why.
Yeah. Insert computer glitch here.
Mark's Pizzeria. Did you know that It's so stupid. It's so funny. Either way, I have to edit this, and it's getting a little long.
It is getting a
little long. So thank you, everybody, for coming. Thanks for coming.
Thanks Thank you. Thanks. Thank you.
Goodbye now.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye now.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye. Goodbye.